Hey guys, I hope that you all are doing great. I wish you all a very happy new year and sincerely hope that you achieve all your dreams, all your goals, and everything in your career, your personal and professional life. Uh, with this intent, I would like to talk about something that I always wanted to cover, right? Because I know that at a time, um the plans are having somebody who can actually guide you step by step what exactly needed to be done is very crucial, right? So today we'll not talk about anything technical stuff. Just bear with me. I don't have very good throat. I have cold a bit, so maybe my voice will not be very clear. Uh, but yeah. So what I wanted to talk about it today is basically three basically key points, right? What is the keys for success, right? One thing. Second thing is how do you transition your career? If let's say you are a fresher or you are in non-IT, you're already working somewhere, you have some experience, then what is the plan to transition your career into ETL testing, right? Specifically ETL and data warehousing testing, right? Obviously, when we talk about ETL or data warehousing testing, it automatically covers your manual testing as well, right? So how do we, what is the plan, right? I will talk about everything. I have done this slide for you so that it can help you step by step. And and then third thing is how do we transition? What is the transition plan for experienced manual tester? Let's say people are working already in testing, but they are working into manual testing or web testing, web-based testing. Are people who are working into, let's say, some other domain, for example, networking or desktop or some other domain, right, which is kind of IT, but it's non-QA, right, non-testing, right, background. So these all the things, and I have also, given a clear direction how much time it will take to transition, right? Uh, and if you follow all of the things that I have actually carefully curated, I'm sure that you will achieve the success. And before that, I will talk about what are the keys to success, right? I mean, many of you, I know that many of you have already achieved a lot in your career, but then this can also help you to understand what is the key for the success, right? I mean, see, we all start the things with very high level of enthusiasm, but then in the middle, while we progressing, maybe a couple of weeks or couple of months, then our enthusiasm level drops down, and then we end up dropping the plan, right? So I'll talk about that, and if you keep all those key points in your mind, I think there is nobody who can stop you from the success. All right. So with this, let's start then the first topic, keys for success. All right. So I have basically 4 points basically that we need to uh, keep in mind when you are working, not only for for your career or for anything for that matter, right? We need to have the very first thing is we have to have a very clear goal, right? Having a clear goal means that half of the work is done for you, right? So you have to first of all make sure what exactly you want to do, right? And you should be able to visualize that, okay, I am going to, let's say in our case, let's say you want to be a ETL testing engineer or ETL Q engineer, then you already have a plan that, okay, I want to be a ETL Q engineer and having a clear vision about it, right? That's very important, right? You just don't think that, okay, I let me study and I can become something manual tester, automation tester, or ETL tester, whatever, right? Don't have this kind of confusions, right? Because until you have the clear goal, I think it's very difficult, because having the clear goal will drive you or propel you to the right path, right? Because then you know how do you measure your achievements during the course of while you actually continue your journey to success, right? So first thing, clear goals, much important. First point. and the top most important thing, right? Then second one is the hard work, right? Without hard work, there is no supplement for hard work, guys. Okay, because hard work uh, can actually defeat the luck, basically. So some people say that, some people, you might have heard a lot of stories, a lot of examples where people have done hard work. People were very mediocre, or people were not from the very um, you know good background in terms of knowledge, etc. But the people have actually achieved whatever they wanted, right? So you might have heard all those success story, right? And the the main the ingredient that goes behind is the hard work. There is no replacement for hard work. So you have to hard work. That is the second thing that you have to keep it in mind. And without hard work, I don't think so we can achieve really, really great success. Obviously, you can actually achieve mediocre success, but I'm not talking about mediocre success here. I'm talking about something, achieving something great, right? That the people can give you example of yours, right? Third thing is the consistency, right? So hard work is important, but at the same time, consistency is important. Consistency means the level of commitment or the level of quality. It should be consistent, right? So, for example, you are able to, let's say, study two chapter today. Tomorrow also you should be able to make somewhere around two chapter, one and a half, two chapter, two and a half chapter, something like that, right? It should not just drop down like one page after that, right? So the consistency is important. So you should have the consistent approach toward hard work, right? So hard work and then consistency, third point, and then the perseverance. Perseverance basically talks about you know continuing your journey of learning or your toward your goal towards your goal, despite having any failure or despite having any obstacle, right? So when we commit for something bigger cause or something that we want to achieve, I think it's a longer journey, right? And within that longer journey there will be ups and downs. The idea here is the perseverance. Having the perseverance will mean that you will be able to sail through all these issues or the problems, right? You should be able to continue your journey. You should not just stop and drop down in the middle, right? So that's very important, right? Because people says, there is a very famous saying that if you suc successful people are not the one who are failed. Successful full people are the one. Okay, I mean who never fail. I mean to say, successful people are not the one who have never failed. Rather, the successful people are the one who failed many times, multiple times, but then they again stand up and then again they started the journey to the excellence, right? So that is important thing, right? So perseverance means that you will get the setback, but then you again stand up and you continue from there, right? So without losing your enthusiasm, right? So these are the four things, guys, that I wanted to cover. And believe me, if you keep these four things in your mind, I think there is no one who can actually stop you from being a successful person, whatever you want to become, right? You want to become a millionaire, you want to become a big person, whatever you want to do, right? It's again, right? I mean, it's level of commitment or at the level of uh, how dedicatedly you are following all these factors, right? The key success keys. That much successful you will become, right? Lesser you follow them, I think you will become the lesser successful. So something like that, right? So it depends for everybody. It depends, or it means different thing, right? So that's all for this key factors for the success. Now let's go to the third point where we want to talk about how a person from non-IT or fresher can actually transition their career, right? So person who completed, let's say, graduation, uh, and then person want to actually become a testing engineer in ETL testing or ETL tester, backend tester, or the person who is working into non-IT, for example, sales or somewhere else, right? The person can very well transition his career, right? And so that's the reason I have just carefully considered like how much time it will take for a person who really don't know anything about software, right? So the ideal time to cover entire thing is 6 months dedicated efforts, guys. Okay, so it's again depends of how much time you want to devote, but ideally I would say I think 4 to 5 hours. If you actually devote 4 to 5 hours every day uh, in 6 months time, I think this is very, very, very optimistic, right? This is kind of not optimistic. I would say this is very much realistic deadline that 6 months time for anyone who is in non-IT and fresher can actually transition their career into ETL testing. Okay. All right. So what is the sequence that you would like to cover? I mean, obviously you can change the sequence little bit here and there, but I would say that these are the sequence that is that I feel that will give you a lot of motivation and encouragement to continue your journey toward, right? So first, you actually learn the database SQL, right? And if you go to my channel where I have actually covered SQL related videos, SQL for beginners, you actually complete SQL basics means SQL for beginners, right? You complete 1 month. That I think that should be you should be good enough to complete that. Okay. Along with that, you continue practice, right? So when you actually learn a topic, for example, you learn the DDL. What is DDL commands, right? You actually at the same time you do the practice as well on your SQL developer or whatever tool you have for database, right? So you do that practice together, okay? And so I assume that it can take 1 month of time to master all those things, okay? And at the same time, you also make sure that you revise whatever you learned today. Tomorrow you again revise it and make a schedule to revise it on weekly basis, right? So let's say last 1 week, whatever you studied, you just revise it on Saturday and Sunday 1 day, right? So you can actually, I have just kept it 1 month, which means 30 days, guys, right? And I have not considered any holidays. If you are actually taking only working for 5 days, or you are actually learning for 5 days, then yeah, in a month, I think it will be only 20 days, right? So something like that. So you see that I have considered 1 month that is 30 days full work, right? But how much ever you are able to, effort, put efforts, I think based on that you can actually figure out what is the timeline, how you are looking for, right? Now, SQL intermediate and practice, intermediate and interview question related things. Once you are clear with the basics, right, you can actually start solving the interview questions that I have covered a lot of them. Those are kind of a intermediate level of questions, right? So I would assume that 15 days should be good enough, given that you already learned 1 month of SQL basic and you are just going to apply all those basic knowledge here, right? Basic knowledge here. So I assume that it can take 1.5 month, roughly 1.5 month, right? Uh, for anybody to, you know, from non-IT or freshers background. Then after you complete this, you actually go and move ahead with the software testing. Software testing, I think you can actually cover some basic stuff that I have already covered there. But at the same time, do let me know if you want anything else also. I have covered whatever was important from the software testing point of view. But if you still feel that there are few topics that you want me to cover or you want me to do, that I can do it, guys. Okay. So testing basics and interview question. I think 15 days should be good enough, right? And you follow my tutorial as well. And don't restrict yourself only to yeah, this only 15 days. You can also refer something on Google as well, right? When you have some question and post the question as well so that I can also help you guys, right? So software testing is kind of 15 days. Then you go to the Linux because Linux and Unix, I mean same thing guys because from the command point of view you call it Linux. Linux is a flavor, right? But the operating system is called Unix operating system, right? So you can actually learn the basics in 10 days. I have covered good amount of basics within the Linux for tester, right? And you just learn that in 10 days. And after that, you actually also cover the Linux interview questions and practice. I think if you carefully look at look at the playlist, you'll be able to figure out, right? Unix related tutorial. If you are facing any difficulty, I'm happy to, s- send you the links as well. But then when you go to my channel, go to playlist, and then you will be able to find out all of them, right? So within the playlist itself. Now, ETL testing, I think this is a big topic, right? So that's the reason for ETL testing. I have covered like a lot of videos for ETL testing concepts, and majority of the question in interview I think will come from ETL testing and SQL, right? Wherever you go. So make sure that you cover all of them, the ETL testing concepts, how the ETL works, what are the different kind of transformations, etc. Right? What are the different kind of testing that we do in ETL and all? I think everything is covered in ETL testing. In ETL testing, what do you say? Playlist. And then Informatica Power Center is 15 days. Informatica Power Center, you can learn Informatica because this is a ETL tool. And people expect you to know at least one of the ETL tool, right? If not Informatica, some other tool. But the underlying core concept for any ETL tool is extraction, transformation, and loading. And so once you understand how the Informatica works, I think it is very similar. The other tools also works on the same way. So that's the reason for simplicity. I have covered the Informatica videos. I think you can go to Informatica playlist and you can see that I have installed Informatica and then I have done some mapping from the development point of view, and I also have shown you how you do the white box testing, black box testing, etc. Right? So Informatica Power Center 15 days, and then data warehousing concepts 10 days. I think 10 days is okay kind of things because I think I have covered some important topics there. But if you feel that you are facing some questions in interview which is outside this playlist, do let me know. I'm happy to cover those topics as well. But I think for now, I think this is a good one, right? So 10 days for data warehousing concept. Now, last one is the Python. So why Python, guys? Python is specifically using Pandas library because um, there are in ETL testing, we want to do little bit of automation where we can do, right, but which can actually help us validation much faster because of the size of the file. Because generally in data warehousing, we have the huge amount of data, maybe 10 GBs or 20 GBs of data, gigabytes of data, which is not possible uh, to open those files manually. That's why we have used the pandas, and I have done couple of videos. I think you can just take a look at it. It's not very difficult. It's very easy, I would say, right? There are few commands that you can use, and then you can learn this Python pandas, right? So this is for 15 days again, right? So this is so when you take all of this, I think this is a very progressive learning, and you should follow this sequence one by one, and make sure that you put a proper efforts, guys. See, there, as I said, right, so there is no supplement for hard work. And if you want to achieve something, if you want to really change your career, because it's only 6 months of efforts, and then after this you see that you get a good job in good company, right? And then your whole life and whole perspective will change, right? Because everyone want to be successful, right, in their career, right? So that's the reason I thought that many people have asked this question: how do I start? I'm not getting the idea where to start, what to start, and all. So that's the reason I thought that I'll cover this and I'll give you the fair, idea, what topics, when to cover, and how to cover in a very logical sequence, right? So that it can help you. So this is for the non-IT and freshers, right? And then I have another topic for experienced manual tester and non-QA. So I'm assuming that people here are actually already working in manual testing, right? But they want to just transition their career into ETL testing to be more niche skill sets, right? Niche. So that's the reason you see the total efforts that I have put is 3.5 months. So 3.5 months is basically the bare minimum time that you should actually put the dedicated efforts. Why I have taken 3.5? Because I assume that you already know the testing. So I have actually remove the testing concepts, right? And then, given you are already working in industry, you already know the terminology, what is database, what is Linux, and what all the things, right? So majority of the things you already know. That's the reason I have reduced it to 3.5 months, and I think this is very much achievable if you actually put the right amount of efforts with, again, consistency and perseverance, right? Now, so here if you see that SQL basics, I have put only 20 days, right? Because you are already familiar with that, or at least you have heard about that, right? If you are working in manual testing, you will definitely might have logged in into database. Maybe you might not have written the queries, etc., but you are already aware of it. Similarly, for non-QA, for example, people are working into, let's say, networking and all, they are already aware of it, right? What is database, what is Linux, etc. They are already aware of it. That's the reason I think I have reduced the timeline for database and Linux as well here, right? Linux basic. I think this is pretty much same thing you have to cover. Only thing is I have removed the testing, software testing, because uh, if you are from the manual testing, then you don't need it. Again, if you are from the non-QA background and you are not from the manual testing, or you're not from the testing background, then you have to add that, I think 15 days extra, right? 15 days extra, which will be around 4 months then in that case. Let me just quickly check it. Yeah, 15 days, right, for testing. So it will be around, for non-QA, it will be 4 months basically rather than 3.5 months, right? Now, ETL testing 1 month. I think I have kept it 1 month because I assume that you already working in the industry and you are familiar with that, right? Here it should be non-QA as well, right? Not non-QA. And then Informatica Power Center, data warehousing concepts, right, and ETL. So all these things I have reduced the time little bit because I assume that you already know that. But if there might be the case where you are not aware of these things, maybe you have lesser amount of experience, let's say 1 year, less than 1 year, then I think the time might increase a bit. All right. But this is again, as I said, right? So this is again person to person, and it's not that it's same for everybody. Few people actually can only put efforts for two hours and they are good with that learning on topic, and the other person might take 4 to 5 months, 4 to 5 sorry, hours or 6 hours as well, right, instead of 2 hours. So it again depends on your personal appetite and capacity, how do you learn. But then this is the general guidelines, assuming that person is kind of average learner, average intellectual, or average learner person. It's not like a very intelligent person. Uh, Average to medium to naive person. All right. So that's all, guys. I wanted to just cover these things, and I really hope that if you follow this and change your career, right? I mean, there is nothing that limits you, given you actually put right amount of efforts, right amount of dedication, right amount of perseverance, consistency, and more importantly, set your goal upfront, right? And then chase your goal. Okay? I know that you all can do. It's just that we should not drop in between. That's where we have to be careful about it because our mind generally trick you not to do the harder things, right? Our mind is kind of behaves to do the easier things because it likes to do the repeated things, right? But here you are actually learning all of them new, right? And this is challenge, right? Whole different dimensions for you, right? So take this as a challenge and you set your goals for, let's say you want to transition from non-IT to fresher, then make sure you set a goal to complete this by June, and then from July onward, you should be able to get a job, right? And keep that in mind, right? The timeline, that's very important. Just don't, I mean, you have to obviously make a plan, right? How many hours you want to study and all those things. Whatever I have told is the general guidelines, right? And then, I mean, this is the good enough time, right? Because no one can actually do. change their career track in 1 month or 2 months, right? So it's very important that we set a realistic goal, realistic timeline, because many of the people who are actually working are, I mean, if you're not fresher, then you have always the constant with low bandwidth, right? You can't be make yourself available all the time for a study, right? But everywhere, what is most important thing is the practice, right? So continue practice. So when you actually do the SQL, you make sure that you write every query and practice it, right? For the same thing for Linux, you install Ubuntu and you actually practice all the commands and everything. Okay. Similarly, if you want to actually do something Python stuff, you make sure you install the PyCharm or you install the Jupyter Note and you actually do the practice, right? Because um, if you practice it together, then the chances are that you will not forget the things easily, right? It will actually register in your permanent memory, right? So that is how you have to plan and keep me posted, right, guys? So this is the plan. Take this as a challenge and make sure you put your hard work. Okay, see that how the career changes, right, from here onward, right? Because you have already many of us basically we have wasted a lot of time doing something trivial, right? But this time, this is something that is a very brave step and very big step, I will say, right? But this is with this guidance that I have provided, I think this is very much achievable, and you all can do it actually, guys. Okay. And why I'm saying this is a very realistic timeline as well, because by the time you will go around May, June, you will see good amount of opening as well in the market, right? And now also there are market has started already. You might have started getting call. I mean, you will get started. The things will start now because people are actually coming back from the vacation. We are already entered into New Year, right? So January will be little bit of sluggish, but then from mid of January toward end of January, I think the things will start improving, right? I'm sorry, guys. So this is the one of the things that I wanted to cover with, and I wanted to, discuss with you. Uh, and I hope that, you know, it motivates you and it gives you some confidence or some guidelines. And don't hesitate to send your comments if you have any question or you want any personal guidance, right, guys? Please send me. I may not be able to respond you uh, on real time, but I'll make sure that I'll respond you to the key questions from you, right? I'll make sure that whichever I feel important, I think will be able to respond you back, okay, in due course of time. Yes, so that's all for this video, guys, and there are a lot of things that we want to do in the new year, guys. I want to do, I want to share a lot of things, a lot of videos. But if you look at my playlist, I think the playlist that we have created, I think over last 1 year or 1.5 year, I think it's amazing. I think anyone who want to crack any interview don't need any coaching, I think, from anybody else. If you understand little bit about software engineering, right, you should be able to crack it interviews, because everything is in those videos I have covered from the practical point of view, and this is just to help you all, guys, right? So it's our society, community, and we all should contribute whatever we can do, right? So that's all for this video. And another thing is, if you like this video, don't forget to like this video, because that gives a lot of encouragement. And I think I should set some likes for this video, guys. Okay. So what I feel is I'm saying I'm setting a target for 1000 likes for this video, guys. Okay. And let's see how many of you actually like this video and how many of you can actually support, right? I mean, it gives me a lot of motivation, right, to do all this kind of videos, right, for you. So, and for you, I think if you really like it, if little bit helping you also, um, I think it doesn't take more than a second just to hit like button, right? But for me, it's big encouragement, right? And yeah, so that's all for this video. I'll see you soon with next set of videos, technical videos, and we'll cover a lot, many things this year. And I'm very optimistic, very positive. And another thing, I would like to hear all your success story, guys. Okay, so once you get a job or you stuck somewhere, you need any help, do send email to me. I'm much more happy to help you. And also share me your journey, how you're doing it, or is there anything, is there any issue that you are facing which I can help you guys, right? I'm here to help you all, right? So yeah, so that's all. And once again, Happy New Year 2024. Until we meet next time, uh, all the best, and have a good learning. Bye.